Time to fit the new keys into the SY99 keyboard. Next part of the project. It's actually been about 2 weeks since I took the SY99 keyboard out of the SY99 chassis. And the reason for that delay between taking the key bed out of the chassis and when I'm filming this is it took that long for these 2 new keys to get here and then for me to be able to start filming again. So new keys have arrived. They were a little bit grubby, so I gave them a bit of a clean with some just soapy water, a bit fairy liquid, as they say in the UK. And now they're ready to be fitted to the key bed, and then we can get the key bed back in the chassis, and that hopefully is the work on the key bed done. Remember, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Go over to Instagram and follow me there. Go over to Facebook, follow me there. That's where the normal notices are. And consider becoming a Patreon. If I look at the keys, these are bare keys. They've come with no spring. And the springs in the old keys are okay. The spring being this piece of metal here that I've just taken out. Hopefully you can see that. So that kind of just slides in underneath this. There's a ridge there, and it slides in underneath that ridge. Just hold that about there. It's focus distance. It slides in underneath that, down to the bottom, and on top of like a spike, I suppose. If I turn this sideways, you can see the spike. So that slides in there, and that is what effectively is the spring for the key. So in order to do that on the keys I'm replacing, there's the black key I've just taken this spring out of, and that goes down like so, pushes into place, and then take that out of the way because that's the broken key. And then we need to do the same on this white key, take out the spring and just insert the spring. It needs to go it's wrong way around. That's why it's not working. So it needs to go under there and onto there. So actually, if I take this out again, you can see actually that's the right way around because it's got the black marker. But if you look at this, there is a notch. I don't know where that's coming across. Let me I am zoomed in as much as possible. So let's try it to this camera here. Can you see that there's a V notch on that spring, and then there's a marker on the spring. I'll try and bring it up on that camera as well. You see the marker and the notch there. Right. So that effectively there's a ridge inside this key, and it probably doesn't show up very well. Actually, let's see if I can take a picture on the camera. See if you can, yeah, that might come up better on the camera. And it's the same on the black key, there's a ridge. And what effectively this does is this goes under there, slides up that ridge until it goes no further. And if I take another picture, I'll see if I can remember to put these in the video. Like so. We've done that the right way around. No, I've done that the wrong way around. It should be that way around. There you go. Like that. And that is how the spring works. Now, in order to get this black key in, I need to take the key, the C key out. Let's move that dead key over there, and then let's bring the keyboard back into play. So, goes out of the way for a sec. It needs to go. So the area you're really interested in is this area here, so let's just move that along a bit more, like so. So that's more front and centre, which it is. Okay, so in order to get to put the black key in, obviously the black key is kind of landlocked by this key, so I need to take this key out again. So you just push it back, lift it up, and then slide it forward, and out it comes. There you go. So that key comes out. The black key goes in reverse order, and you've got to make sure you get the spring. Again, I'll take a photograph of this because it won't come out on camera. But effectively, the spring needs to go underneath these plastic lugs, if you like. So, a bit of dust in there, let's just get rid of that. Like so. So what you do is you effectively lower the key down, and the key needs to go, there's a plastic lug there, and that needs to go this side of this greased peg. Sorry, this side of this greased peg. In fact, actually, have I spotted a problem? I have spotted a problem. It's not going to be as easy as I thought it was going to be. Okay, so let me explain what I've spotted. Is, again, if I take a photograph of that, obviously where this has been misused or abused, there's a pad, and the pad should be sitting flat, and actually the pad is raised like that, and it's sitting back, so I need to just straighten that out, and I'm not sure how to do that. I don't really want to have to take the key bed to pieces, so I'm wondering whether I can get away with doing something simple here. So let's just turn this over. Okay, I think that just needs to be straightened. So what looks like needs to happen here, and it's not the easiest place to get into actually, unfortunately, is that just needs to be straightened. It probably just needs a little bit of pressure to allow me to straighten it. Okay, so all I've done is I kind of held the fulcrum from there and then just applied a little bit of pressure just to very gently straighten that reed switch. So that's what I've done. Hopefully that's enough to fix that problem. It looks a lot better now that I've straightened it, so hopefully that's sufficient. Anyway, let's reinstall this key. Goes in like that. Then let's put this C key back in, and now let's put the new dekeying. Okay, that feels fine. Next thing I'm going to do, of course, is plastic polish. I'm not going to video this doing, but I'm just going to go across the whole of this keyboard. I'm just going to clean it with a bit of warm soapy water first, and then I'm going to plastic polish it. So I'll stop the cameras at that point, because that is the key reinstalled and it seems to be nicely functioning. And I'll go and get some warm soapy water, clean the keyboard, and then polish the keyboard, and then we'll be ready to hopefully reinsert it. That'd be the game plan. As I said, off camera, I have now polished all the keys, and despite the fact that this keyboard actually didn't look too bad, the water when I washed the keys was still actually quite murky. So there was a lot of dust and grime actually on the keys themselves that's kind of invisible to the naked eye, because it's, you know, kind of blends in with the key colour, I suppose. It's like a misty film. But the reality is, these have all been now polished, they've all been washed, they feel really nice. I've also washed the lock-in strip while off camera, and this is the last piece that needs to go back on. So if I just move that out of the way and bring this back to centre, like that, let's just move this out of it. Right, so you can see the whole keyboard, there you go. I need to just let that do a bit of focus. There you go. Right, so the lock-in strip itself, as I said, the lock-in strip is kind of a straight edged one way, and then it's got this kind of ridge on the other. And the way this goes on is the straight edge goes against the keys, and the ridge goes on the other side here. And as you probably can't see it on camera, but there are a number of kind of raised pieces along the keyboard. I'm sort of kind of putting fingers on them now, and those are kind of what this locks into. And it's very simple. There's a green mark there, and if I kind of line it up with the green mark, as you see there's a green mark on here and a green mark there. Whether that was somebody else who's been in this keyboard before me, I don't know, but it literally just pushes back into place, and it locks all the keys now back into place, which now means that the work on the key bed is done. Now, the other thing I looked at when I was in the key bed, and obviously I was on camera, but in between bits of looking on camera, is why were these keys damaged in the first place? And my best guess is the reason why these keys were damaged is that there was a centre impact on those keys that went kind of like that. So the impact hit the key like that, pushed the key backwards, and was sufficient force that it actually broke the keys away from their locking pieces. And that's my theory. I have nothing to either prove or disprove that that's what actually happened, but given that it was 3 keys in the same area, that's what I think has happened, is something has effectively hit the keys like that. So something's been dropped on the keyboard, in other words. But this will now go back into the chassis.